Northern Paiute language, lesson 34. Talking about clauses and transitives. Fancy language, but we'll go over what they mean. How you eh? How you eh? How you eh? What's up with you? You say something. Can also mean how are you, but how you eh? What's the haps? A clause is a group of words consisting of a subject and a predicate. A sentence with a single subject which is not acting on a particular object, all right? So like in regular sentences, we were learning subject, object, verb. A subject does a verb to an object. But in a clause, it's just a single subject statement kind of. It's not, nobody's doing anything to somebody else. Examples of a clause is number one, ne bijetyo, which means I am well. Number two, usakwihoni, means you are just fine. Number three, ibiru kaibijetyo, my maternal aunt or my stepmother isn't well. So a clause can also be a statement which is not reflecting any action. There is no subject doing anything to an object. It is just a statement regarding a single subject. Other examples of a clause. Number one, ne old horn minania. Ne old horn minania means I am called Old Horn. Nobody's naming anybody, which would make it a regular sentence, but just one person that is named as a clause. I am named Old Horn. Number two, ishu. Young horn minaniare. Ishu, young horn minaniare. This one is called young horn. It's a clause. So note that there is no action, no subject, object, verb. So a verb within a sentence that doesn't have any action is also called a predicate. A predicate is a part of a sentence or a clause that states something about the subject. It may also be used to infer a state of being, such as is, am, are, etc., which may be in the form of a stative verb, adverb, or adjective. Blah, 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 lots of stuff. You can study it out. It makes sense. So we'll be using the adjectives bija or bijetya and kaibija, kaibijetya. So ishu, honniyu ishu, kaibijetya. Honniyu ishu wano, ishu bijetya. Kaibijetya, bijetya. Okay, so ne bijetya, I am well. Ne bijetya, it's a clause. Ne, I, is the subject of the sentence. Well, bija, is the adjective describing good or well. And this apostrophe YOO is actually the predicate, which means am. It infers a state of being. I am well. Ne bija. Sometimes people shorten things up. It's actually incorrect. It's not grammatically accurate. A lot of times, Nima like to shorten things up. But the apostrophe YOO is a predicate which demonstrates a state of being. Is, am, are, etc. When it's left off, it changes the meaning of the clause or sentence a little bit. So when I say ne bijetyo, it really is I am well, presently occurring. All righty. So number one, negai honi. Negai honi means I am okay. Number two, usakwi honi. Usakwi honi means you are just fine. Notice the YOO is the R and the am. Ibahwa kaibijetyo. Ibahwa kaibijetyo means my paternal aunt isn't well. The is, the am, are, and is indicated by that apostrophe YOO, the predicate. Number four, Mary na abijetyo. Mary na abijetyo means Mary's dad is good. Am, are, and is. I don't know, bro. Well, keep practicing it. It'll make sense. Though a predicate infers state of being, there are not ways to say the following terms in Nima the same way they are used and expressed in English, such as I am, you are, he is. But ways to express the similar idea would be like Yahune. Yahune means here I am, existing, implied. Or Nudya. Nudya means I assuredly am, the one in question. Ugwino. Ugwino means you are, as an affirmation. Udya. Udya means you assuredly are. Or talking about third person, ishudya. Ishudya. This one assuredly is. And so that this language barrier from English into Numu, that predicate, which is saying is, am, they don't translate very well into English, is all we're trying to say. We have to say things different ways in Paiute than we would say them in English. So yesh, let's go over verb predicates within clauses. There are two classes of verbs that we will be going over. Transitive verbs, which acts on a direct object, and intransitive verbs, which does not act directly on an object. Blah, blah, blah. I know it don't make a lot of sense, but it kind of does when you start breaking it down. So when we talk about the word punni, it's a transitive verb. So it must act on a direct object. Supuku kuidza abunni. Supuku kuidza abunni means the horse sees the coyote. Subject, object, verb. Bunni, see. Since bunni is transitive, it cannot be used indirectly, which means we cannot say subugu bunni, the horse sees. It doesn't work that way. We can't say subugu bunni because it's a transitive verb. We must say subugu tubuni, subugu tubuni, subugu tubuni. The horse sees. So that verb has to get the to changes the transitive into an intransitive. All right, the to is added. So other examples of this, like punni, I have to use it like something sees something. But if it's just something sees, I use it as intransitive, to punni. Same with naka, something hears something. But if I say something hears, it's something to naka. If it's not acting on a particular object. The word quiba, to hit, quiba, something hits something. But if there's just something that hits in general, without saying what it hits, it has to be to quiba, intransitive. Same with the word nitui, which means to tell, to teach. And then we hear the word tenitui, which is to teach as well, but it's not acting on a direct object. All righty? So we'll go over some more examples of that. We must keep in mind that many verbs in Nimu are both transitive and intransitive at the same time. There is not always a te rule to be applied, like the word tuka, which means to eat. We'll never say tuka, or the word hivi, to drink. We won't say tu hivi. These words, they're transitive and transitive at the same time. Same with kate, to sit, and wune, to stand. All right, so let's contrast some of these. I can say sumogotni, bijatapuni. Sumogotni, bijatapuni means the woman sees good. She has good eyes, implied. Versus sumogotni, kunana bunni. Sumogotni, kunana bunni. Since the seeing is acting on a direct object, the woman, subject, seeing this object, we use bunni. But here, since the subject is not looking at a direct object, it's just tepuni. She sees well versus she sees something. Same with the word naka. Sunana bijata naka. Sunana bijata naka. Sunana bijata naka. Which means the man hears well. Versus sunana komogotni naka. Sunana komogotni naka. The man hears the woman. Since an object is being heard is listed, it's just naka. Since no object that is heard is listed up here, it's tanaka. Sunana bijat tanaka. Here's good, here's woman. Same with the word tequiba or quiba. Sutuibitsi bijat tequiba. Sutuibitsi bijat tequiba. The young man is a good hitter. Maybe we're talking about baseball. Maybe we're talking about tennis. Maybe we're talking about he hits dogs with stick. He's a good hitter. Versus Sutuibits Kuijipuk Kuiba. Sutuibits Kuijipuk Kuiba. the boy or the young man hits the dog. Hits the dog. Since the dog is being hit, it's quiba. On this first one, since nothing is being hit directly, it's just tequiba. So this is how these words work. First and second person predicate is shown by applying the apostrophe YOO to the verb / adjective. Predicate is also shown by adding a glottal stop after the last syllable. You'll hear this both ways. So like you'll hear tepuni, does see, is seeing, and seeing, tepuni, because the predicate's on there, versus tepuni, tepuni. If that apostrophe, that glottal stop is there, it means the same thing as the predicate. Tepuni versus tepuni. Tanaka versus tanaka. Tanaka versus tanaka. All right, examples. Nutapuni, I see. I am, right now, my eyes are presently working. Nutapuni versus nutapuni, I see. Same thing, they mean the same thing. Ubijatapunio. Ubijatapunio. That means you are seeing good. Versus ubijatapuni. Ubijatapuni means you see good. Same thing. Sees is seeing. Predicate. Are, am is the one that sees. All right, so some examples. Number one. Ubijatapuni. Ubijatapuni. Ubijatapuni means you don't see too good. Number two, ubijatapuni. Ubijatapuni. You see well, presently. Three, ubijatanaka. 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 You hear well. Number four, naraibijatapuni. Naraibijatapuni means I don't see too good. Number five, nubijatapuni. Nubijatapuni. I see well. Same thing. Six. Nubija tanakaya. Nubija tanakaya. Nubija tanakaya. Nubija tanakaya. I have a little hard time saying that nakaya sometimes. I hear well. Presently. Number seven. Uraibija taquiba. Uraibija taquiba. You do not hit well. 8. Nubijataquiba. Nubijataquiba. I hit well. 9. Ubijatanitui. Ubijatanitui means you teach well. So third person, so what we went over here was first and second person. And the third person predicate is shown by adding the de to the end of the verb or adjective. De means one that is or does. Third person does, however, sometimes still use the apostrophe YOO and the glottal stop. Keep that in mind. Third person, number one, sunoyoare, aibijete punide. Sunoyoare, aibijete punide. That means the snake don't see too good. 2, so isha bijete quibade. So isha bijete quibade. The wolf, he likes to hit, or he's a good hitter. Maybe he hits his little brother with his stick, his guru. Number 3, suhudziba bijete nakare. Suhudziba bijete nakare. The bird hears well. He's a good listener. Number 4, sukwitna bijete punio. Sukwitna bijete punio means the eagle is seeing good. Number 5, subagut bijete quiba. Subagut bijete quiba. That means the buffalo will hit you hard, boy. Number 6, suwijipuk kai bijete nakare. Kai bijete nakare. The dog doesn't listen well. What day? Man, that's a mind-blowing information there. But let's keep on rolling. Number 1, Sujena bijetyu mogotni. These are clauses now, remember. Sujena bijetyu mogotni. Jane is a good woman. Number 2, Subil agay bijetyu nana. Subil agay bijetyu nana Means Bill is not a kind man. Number 3, Suwendia bijatanituide. Suwendia bijatanituide. Means Wendy is a good teacher. Number 4, Sujana gaibijataquibade. Sujana gaibijataquibade. Which means John is not a good hitter. Number 5, Susalia bijataquibade. Susalia bijataquibade. Sally hits well. Number 6, Ubana bijataquiba. Ubana bijataquiba. Means and you are also a good hitter. Number 7, Ubijatapunio. Ubijatapunio. You see well. Number 8, Unorigwa bana gaibijatapunide. Unorigwa bana gaibijatapunide. But your wife doesn't see well. Number 9, Sujaka gaibijatapunide. Sujaka gaibijatapunide. Means Jack doesn't see too good. Number 10, Ubijatanakaya. 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 You hear, listen well. Number 11, Nubuna gaibijatanaka. Nubuna gaibijatanaka. But I don't hear that good. Number 12, Sujana bijatanakade. Sujana bijatanakade. Jane is a good listener. To get you, good job. That's the end of lesson 34. Ma no sabba.